Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Obvious Captains. I just saw your hat, man. I hadn't seen it
Oh,
before.
really?
I thought for a split second there, I thought it was like one of those, those things they use to like get orange juice out of a half of an orange? Because you were like leaned up.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, my Mexican grandmother used that all the time. The juicer you're talking about?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I thought that was. Because when I saw you, the lip was like hiding the
It
face.
kind of.
And I was like, why? So I got a little distracted.
What do you. I
Anyway,
mean, I like it. I've
oh,
had it for a
it's
while.
yeah, no, it's a pretty cool Mexican hat. Definitely Mexican,
Yes.
but if it's not manufactured
Definitely not manufactured. It's
by
probably
Mexicans,
manufactured in. It might be.
So it's culturally appropriated by the
I guess so,
Chinese,
right?
and
I gotta
then
prove.
yeah, and then the freight service that brought it here, and then
Yeah.
the American service that sold it here.
Yes.
Culturally, it's been all over the place. It's
All over. And then it found its way on a Mexican head.
at the end of the day, yeah.
So at the end of the day, it found its home.
Well, hey everybody, we are Obvious Captains. We're going to have hopefully a fun episode today. We have not rehearsed any of the topics we're going to discuss today. We hope to go on a little journey and just see where it takes us. We hope you'll stay with us and that it's both meaningful and useful to you guys. Yeah. So thank you for visiting us and sticking around. So yeah, how's your week, man? Let's get this bad boy started.
It was good. I don't know. Excuse me. You have to pardon my cough. I'm going to cough every so often. I guess that's how I can start. The whole house has been sick.
Oh
So,
no.
but when you have kids, that's kind of normal to
Oh yeah.
for everyone to get sick. But
I
go ahead.
I can't imagine. Like when I'm sick, I don't want to talk to any human beings, man.
Yeah.
I'm just like, leave me alone. I want to just shut the world out and lay down. So I can imagine being sick as a dad, as a husband, and just having regular work to do. Man, it's got to be a nightmare for all you parents out there.
And it being Friday, I want to do this, and I don't want to miss out on these sessions. So I'm glad I'm doing better though. I don't have the new bird flu going around where they
Was
have.
there a new one?
Well, there was a case in Texas.
Oh no.
So I guess now the new bird flu has gone from birds to cows. So the FDA has warned against people from drinking pasteurized milk, if I'm not mistaken.
What? Seriously?
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah, and because they did some testing and they found the actual virus. Not what is it? I don't know what the terminology is, but basically it's not active. It's actually been broken up or destroyed. So, but they found remnants of it in cottage cheese, I believe, and pasteurized milk. So the milk that you would think would be safe to drink is not necessarily safe. But there's only been one case in Texas, so we have that. And from what I've learned, it's not to bring everyone down right away, but it's not a matter of how bad it's going to be, but like when it's going to be. So some people speculate that it could be an issue, especially that it's been able to, transfer from a bird to a cow and now to us. So happy Friday.
Yeah, that is pretty terrifying. I remember during COVID, oh my God, am I allowed to say that word on the internet? I don't know anymore.
I don't know, can you?
During the COVID,
Yes.
it doesn't matter. They're gonna see it spelled out in the captions. They're gonna be like, cancel that. They're trying to talk about truth. But anyway, during that time, I remember that there were dogs and cats getting it as well, and people were saying that I don't want to misquote anything, but I don't know if you could get it from a cat or a dog. God forbid, I can't question that, but I remember they were getting it, so there was like cases of it. So yeah, I can't imagine.
You can get things from your pets though.
Oh yeah.
A family member of mine told me that another family member that's not related to me, if that makes sense, so they're removed. Like
an in-law?
No, well, yeah, I guess so. But their family member was very close to their cat and would sleep with their cat all the time, and now the cat has gotten this lady sick, like severely sick, which is bizarre. That's a thing. We have cats too, so I guess we're doomed.
There's a video that I just saw. It's a very rare thing though, but there's a video of a guy who lost his arms, his face, his legs. I'll see if I can find it later on, but essentially it's recent. It was just on the news. Essentially, this guy contracted some kind of very, very, very rare form of bacteria or disease that comes from your dog licking your face.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, who likes that anyways? Okay, for all you dog people, I don't know if that's you, Red. Is that you? Do you let your dog lick your face?
I'm very weird. I don't even use the same brush or sponge to wash their dishes.
Some people, man, like tongue and everything, and they're like, oh, do. Oh my gosh, I don't get it at all. I'm like, do you know where that thing's been?
My dog, when I walk my dog, she eats goose poop. She will poop and then lick her own butthole. And then she will then default to try and give me like little love kisses.
Oh, yeah,
I am not letting that tongue touch me. Are you kidding me? There's no way.
You know where that tongue's been?
Yeah, no way. But it is.
Oh my gosh.
It is scary. And I mean, I'm not trying to start a conspiracy theory. I'm just talking like weird, like funny stuff. But I mean, if I was like another country that wanted to really screw us over, I would find some kind of virus that I'd be like, I'll just infect all their gerbils and hamsters. All their gerbils. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what would that be?
We'll get them through their pets.
We'll get them through their... I mean, I guess they're like, we'll get them through their cell phones. That's the thing. Through software that is no longer going to be allowed, I guess. That's a specific software company is now become... Am I allowed to say that?
I don't know. What are we talking about? Maybe I haven't heard. I haven't read any news this week.
About TikTok. Isn't TikTok going to be banned now?
Well, I know that Trump wanted to ban it originally, sure and it was Trump's idea. And so, are you telling me that now the U.S. government is proceeding with Trump's idea? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's never his idea, man.
Oh no!
It can never be Trump's idea. I mean, Trump didn't come out with the first vaccine, whether you're pro-vax or not.
I think we just got canceled because you said that word.
Gosh,
that's canceled. Another word. I mean, we need a list when the podcast starts. We need a list of like how at the end there's like credits of all the people that. We need a list of all the dictionary words that are no longer allowed to be used by human beings. They exist, but you can't say them. We need a list of that. So TikTok will not suddenly disappear from your phone, nor will it go to jail if you continue using it. But there is a ban that will go into effect. And this came out, this is AP News. I got to make sure to save this so we can show this. Wait, a ban on American citizens? A ban on politicians? A ban on all, like it being used
TikTok
in the
being
U.S.
used
altogether?
in the U.S.
Really? They're going all the way. I thought they were just going to do like federal devices.
No, well, they did that originally. I believe that the government was not supposed to use, or government employees were not supposed to use TikTok, and then you saw the White House using it all the time, which is, well, go figure. The rules do not apply to them. Let's see if I can find something.
God forbid they use like secured mail servers or anything like that.
So President Joe Biden signed a bill on April 24th that would ban TikTok, the short form video app owned by Chinese company ByteDance. So yeah, I guess some people that have their livelihood, and I'm sure there's great people that use TikTok that they have their businesses will be affected by this. But it's been widely known that I hate to say widely, but people that do look into it have seen that the Chinese have put content on there that isn't necessarily great for you to consume. So like if you did a comparison of the Chinese TikTok versus the US TikTok and saw what they're teaching the kids in China, it's educational. It's things that actually will spur on growth mentally, whereas here it's just garbage.
It's racism
it's attacking. Yeah, it's all sorts. A way of attacking us.
Yeah, it's decaying our moral fabric, whether it's all the popular things that people argue about, like the pronoun conversations, the gender, everything, the stuff going on in the various wars, Russia, Ukraine, it's just any topic you can think of, abortion rights, et cetera, et cetera. Like we get all of that through the algorithm, no matter what. It's almost like there's a filter as it exits China that says U.S. consumer, yes or no, yes, and it toggles on. Like, imagine like a sewage drain where just all the poop comes out and it's just right in your face.
It comes. Oh, yeah. We'll have a Kyle's demo. Oh.
Right?
Wow, we got graphic there.
Yeah. But the funny part is that they... like in a way we create all of that though, you know what I mean? Like when we see that, and I'm guilty of it, I don't have TikTok on my phone, but I actually don't have a TikTok account at all. Like I've never used it, but I can tell you that if I was a user of it, just like I am with other social media platforms, the algorithms really work in terms of creating echo chambers, because that's all I get is whatever I follow and share is I get more of the same, right? Which makes sense. They want you to engage, but yes, the Chinese do it. And by the way, I don't know if are we able to do shout outs, and we don't get paid for this. They don't know who we are, but there are two YouTubers. If you're ever curious, these are two people that lived in China. One of them's married to a Chinese woman who lives in the United States. It's an American and an Australian. And they have two channels separately on YouTube that basically discuss, like, all the news in China, but they discuss it from the reality standpoint because they live there. And you know how the CCP likes to, like, polish and whatever, put out announcements or hide news. So I'm going to butcher this verbally, but then hopefully we can add it after the fact. One of them is like Lowy 86, Lowhy, I think 86. And then the other one is Serpenza, who, if anybody watching that knows anything about China, is probably already following these two YouTubers. Anyway, getting back to the topic, they'll tell you more about the TikTok situation. They'll tell you more because they lived there. They were citizens in that country. They know the way. And one of them, the Lowy guy, I forget his real name, but he has a really good video on how he escaped, how they were trying to like not let him leave Hong Kong. And he was like panicked because he was trying to get back to the States with his wife. Remember, her family's still in China. But anyways, the point is that China does not like any messaging to leave their country without them looking at it first. And these guys tend to discuss news that is. So if you're a Chinese person or somebody interested in Chinese geopolitics, I would highly recommend their channels.
Have you ever been to China? I know you've been all over, it seems like.
No, God, man. And I am pretty sure I'll never get the chance before I die now because, so first of all, China has some incredibly impressive stuff.
China or Hong Kong or Taiwan, or are you talking about?
No, China. I'm talking about China in general, like Chinese culture and China, the country, the communist country. Yeah. They have a lot of incredible stuff, man. I mean, granted, they do everything via slave labor. But man, they have this highway. They have a highway that, if you've never seen it, there's literally a highway in the clouds. and it's
cool.
It's terrifying. But I've seen the videos, and it's like, wow, that's pretty cool. They have
Highway
incredible
in the Clouds. You gotta look that up.
Maybe we can throw a little video of that in there somewhere. They have really cool, like, massive statues, man, on the size of, like. Are you looking at it right now?
Oh yeah, it cost I would imagine $4 billion. $4 billion highway in the clouds, and there is literally a video.
And that's $4 billion, keeping in mind that nobody really got paid, because their citizens are not really citizens that produce. Their citizens are slaves that are told what to do and do it. And so, yeah, I'll probably never get to China, because when they see these kinds of conversations, they would detain me. Man, they would detain me on the spot just for being someone that believes in reality.
Man, that is a real thing. I mean, I know I have friends or old friends, or I guess you would call them acquaintances at this point, but whom are related to priests or people that serve the Catholic Church, and when they choose, when you're actually given your assignment to where you serve, if you do end up in China, they basically kind of give you a going away party, understanding that you're probably going to be imprisoned at some point.
Okay, and why would you still do it?
I mean, if that's the servant heart of the Lord inside these people. They're like, I'm going to go and serve people for as long as I can.
Right. And before I get thrown in the...
Yeah, I mean, my wife went to China, and...
I don't know that I knew that before.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
where did she go? And what did she do?
I couldn't tell you exactly, but it was a missions trip. And there was preliminary strategy that had to be put in place as far as how they even planned the trip, down to what they could talk or say to family once they were there in China over the phone, because there's monitoring that happens. I mean, and we're going back, I mean, probably 20 years at this point. So if you think about how it was then, now how far along technology has come, how they can easily monitor people and oppress people, essentially. And that kind of goes into why Taiwan is afraid, and why it's very... The temperature is escalated there in China, especially with Hong Kong. There's videos of people singing the national anthem in Hong Kong. Like, they love our country so much, and they want it
our national anthem.
Our national anthem, yeah. No, our national anthem, because they see how lucky we are, and it's almost kind of the middle finger to their own government, a way of protest. But, yeah, we're so fortunate here, and it's a shame that many young Americans... And you see what's going on in UCLA and all this stuff. I'm like, all these kids, man... And it goes back to our last episode.
UCLA, Harvard, whatever, man. All the universities, Columbia, NYU. I mean, just everywhere. It's not just UCLA. It's all of them. It's a bunch of universities at this point. Yeah, there's a lot of. I think there is, and viewers, please let me know if I'm wrong. But if I remember correctly, within psychology, there is something that outlines that when you have too much privilege, when you have too much of a good thing, you start to nitpick at things that don't matter anymore. I actually want to say something that my ex-wife, something that's very, very meaningful and valid, that stuck with me. When we first got my ex-wife is from Bali, Balinese lady, beautiful, wonderful person. And, when we first, and she had, she wasn't poor or anything, but when we first met, and she saw the United States, we were talking about the differences. And I said, I can't, you guys are so disorganized in your country. And she said something to the effect of, and I quote, she said, that we're so poor we're so concerned about eating and getting clean water that the last thing we care about is creating legislation for XYZ or doing this other thing or these initiatives. Like, she was basically talking about the fact that a lot of these countries, their priorities are different than ours. And it hit me. It made sense. I was like, oh my God, a lot of these places, like people in Gaza, if they're protesting a different thing than rich white kids in UCLA or Harvard or whatever I couldn't go to Harvard. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not sitting there, Well,
I don't know. You might be able to now.
Why is that? Oh,
because you're Hispanic. You might be able to. You don't think you get in now? You probably have a better chance now to get in Harvard than you did when you were a kid, when you were younger. With, with DEI, is that what it's called?
Yeah, but I don't think minorities like Hispanics, Asians, Jews. Right now it really applies mostly to blacks.
Cancelled.
And other types of, like maybe Native Americans. Like, no, you don't see like...
Bro, you're Native American too, though.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah. So, it's but you're right. I would have a great shot at running for office just on my race alone or my ethnicity. Can we say race or is that a bad word too now?
I don't know, man.
Speaking
of race, I got to show you these. So my wife every so often shops at this store that I do not condone, and it's like her guilty pleasure called Target. Anyways,
you don't condone that. I love Target. What are you talking about?
Target's, yeah. We can get in a whole show about how Target is.
It's one of my favorite places to shop.
Yeah. Anyways, this is what she got me. Or she didn't even get it for me. She got brown people Band-Aids.
I can't move. Can you move it back? It's like really blurry. It's not like fixating on it. Brown people Band-Aids. I can't read it, but I can assume.
So they're on sale because it was after Black History Month, and these don't matter anymore. So they were only $2.19. But she only got them for
wait. What does Black History Month have to do with Band-Aids?
Well, because a lot of these things roll out in excess at places like Target. And so they have a huge stock of these things.
But are you saying they expect black people to get more paper cuts during Black History Month? And that's why they stock up?
Same thing for the Black Santa. Did you see the Black Santa? There was a Black Santa in a wheelchair that Target had that it sold like crazy because it's almost a parody of itself. We'll show you the image of the Black Santa in a wheelchair, which is just bizarre.
Totally uninformed on that.
Anyways, yeah.
I'm
not
on your
dark
arm.
enough, though.
Let's see. Let's put one on your arm, man. You might need to go out and
man. I got to go cut the lawn more. Hey, Captains. It's been so fun making these episodes. And while we've only been doing this for a short while now, I don't know about you, but I've been cracking up and enjoying the shows. I want to say thank you personally and want to let you know of a few areas that we can use your help with. One of those ways is to continue to support us by sharing, and subscribing, passing it along to friends or your family or anybody that you think that might enjoy the show, get something from the show. And I would say most importantly probably is to comment. Leave us your suggestions. If you want to make a remark on the show, if you want to see something on the show, or did we miss something? We want to get to know who our family is here. So again, thank you for all the support thus far, and we're going to roll out some more fun and exciting things as we continue to build this podcast of ours. Again, thanks for all the support, guys. We look forward to getting to know you.
Do you get in trouble in our country nowadays if you wear the wrong Band-Aid?
So.
Like, is that like
I was very excited about those.
Instead of like blackface, it turns into Band-Aid face kind of thing? Like, oh, he's wearing a black Band-Aid.
Man. I know, man.
No, I'm a serious question. Like, if you were to wear a Band-Aid that was clearly meant for a person of a darker color than you are, would you be in trouble at your job?
I'm sure some jobs.
Like, if I wear a female designated Band-Aid,
A female designated? What is that?
I don't know. It doesn't exist yet. I mean, if they're making freaking Band-Aids that are color coded for humans,
are you using female products?
I would imagine that they're going to have gender products too.
Gender
right?
products. There you go. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you can get that time of the month for yourself too now, man.
Yeah. I wonder. Can you imagine like brown or black? What are those called? The things.
Are you going to say tampons? Oh
Not tampons.
My gosh.
The other thing.
Pads?
Pads. Yeah. Can you imagine that? Like, it's got a color code to your body. Man, our world is so ridiculous, man.
That would
our world is just so ridiculous.
I gotta look it up, but I mean, I wonder if there's such thing already as skin appropriate skin. Would it? What would that be? Melanin appropriate.
Yeah, it'd be insane. It would be an insanity, but it's happening. It's happening to everything and anything is being touched by wokeism. So it's okay. It is. We can assume that it will happen, that it will exist at some point, and we're going to have to fall in line or get canceled or, get trouble.
I'm happy to announce that you could be a millionaire today if you actually go out and make the first melanin appropriate pads. You too can be rich.
Dude, I have an idea. You create some kind of BS technology that... Like, with cars, I don't know if you ever had a car accident where the dealer or the shop had to, like, match your color on the car. And what happens is that because it's been out in the sun and the elements, even though your car might be white or black or orange, it doesn't matter what color, but the color fades over time and the pigmentation changes, right? Mm-hmm. So the shop's like, hey, we need to, like, use a special technique to really make the exact same paint. Okay, great. Okay. Can you imagine if they started doing that for humans where they're like, you need a Band-Aid. Well, you have to go get, have to go get fitted for Band-Aids because they got to be the right color for your skin,
So that's, man,
and if it already exists, I'm not being a jerk. I'm not trying to, if that exists, I'm sorry to whoever owns that company.
A person that gets a skin graft or something like that from an injury.
Yeah, you don't want to look like that poor person that's got like, and I'm not trying to be mean, but have you ever seen a car you're driving and you see a car that's like brown and then it's got like a red door and you're like, at least
Dude,
paint the door.
You've had at least one family member since you're Hispanic.
I've probably been that person myself.
Okay,
actually.
Yeah, I think I have too.
To be honest,
I've been the guy with the different side mirror on the car. Oh no, I've been the person with the bag over the window.
Oh no, that's
down the highway. Like, yeah, I can't afford to fix it, man, but I'm just gonna throw a new bag on it every week.
Yeah, the bag will do it. I love when they put like the black electric tape over the headlights or taillights or stuff, and you're like, dude, I've seen one where they put plastic tape and then they use like a Sharpie to make it red.
Oh yeah, dude, of course.
And I'm like, I don't know, man. Just go buy it.
The innovation on within car culture, once you've screwed up your car enough, you get pretty creative, man.
One thing I always found funny, in I think they probably do this in all of Latin America, but I'm only going to speak for Mexico. In Mexico, they print these little stickers that are like the brands of the cars. So you'll have like a sticker that's like, I wish for next episode, guys, I will get these stickers and show you examples. Okay. Even though they're brand names, I don't know if I can actually show them, but it'll be like a sticker that says like Ferrari with like the Ferrari, like the actual Ferrari logo. And people will buy that and put it on like their like Ford Focus or whatever.
Yeah.
They'll put it like, and it's like, or it'll say like NOS, NOS. I'm not trying to be mean to you guys in Mexico. I'm not, I promise. But I just think it's funny that the fantasy of it, right? Like, I get it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, okay, I have an old Chevy whatever, but I kind of wish I had a Lamborghini.
Yep.
So.
Oh, I remember my uncle, whom I love, and he would, we were in the shop. I was like a young kid, maybe 10 or 12 years old. And he was getting his car fixed, and they had the spindle at the front, like the kiosk where they ring you out, and it has all the
The air fresheners?
No, the car manufacturers. So like Mercedes and Jaguar, and it's just like a little keychain.
Oh, with the brand?
Yes, but he's driving a Grand Am, and I remember he got a Lexus one just to put on his keys because that was the car he wanted. And there's that. I don't know what that is. It's a culture thing, I think.
It has to be, because you don't see like people driving Dodge Caravans and putting like Tesla stickers on them.
Dude, my people will trick out the most boring car in the world. Like we'll take a Toyota Corolla and we'll bling that thing out. Like you'll know we're coming down the road because we put enough decals and stickers and what is that called? We'll bedazzle that thing, man.
I would call it. Let's just call it flair. Mexican flair. Yeah. We add Mexican flair.
Oh my gosh.
It's like our sprinkles on a cupcake, right? We throw a bunch of random stuff on top of a car and hope it looks badass.
It's like we got 35 vents. Have you noticed that? Like we put the vents on the sides of the cars.
The fake vents you just stick on from AutoZone.
Bro.
There will be vents like on the trunk lid. And I'm
know.
You know that there's no intake there, right? Dude, I saw a car once, a station wagon with the wood paneling on it, like an old
nice
80s Oldsmobile something or other, like a square car with wood paneling, station wagon, and they had one spinner hubcap. One.
The spinners! Where have they been?
Yeah,
Did they disappear?
But I thought it was funny. I was like, did this guy lay away spinner hubcaps for his wood paneling Oldsmobile from the 80s?
Man.
I'm like, oh.
I loved spinners, man. That was like revolutionary. Like Boys in the Hood. I remember Boys in the Hood.
It was revolutionary, but I thought it was garbage, man. I thought it was an ugly look.
That and ground effects, remember? Putting
okay, that was awesome. The neon lighting.
Neon lights under the car. I grew up in that era, man. You too. I mean, you know that's like
it bothers me. It bothers me that people would make fun of stuff like that, man. Like, and now it's like RGB is all the craze.
Oh,
so the similar story to that, when we were kids, like when me and my buddy were kids, his dad got these weird like safety stickers from his job or somewhere, and so we had like a sheet of neon yellow, neon green, and neon orange.
Oh, nice.
Rainproof stickers, right? And they were like an adhesive that you could stick on your coat, like around a backpack, and it would probably it will not come off for a long time. Anyway, man, we put stickers on our shoes, right? So there was like reflective surfaces on all sides of our, I don't know, Reebok or Converse or whatever it was. And I remember that, like we were like in seventh, probably like sixth grade, fifth grade.
Were you wearing cross colors and?
Yeah, probably. And these kids would come up to us and just be like, "Oh, you're such losers," you know. And I wish I could come across them in the real world now, and see them wearing like their shoes with reflective surfaces on them and be like, loser or smarter than you and innovative. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, same thing with the cars, man. Now I'm like, shout out to a friend of ours who, I don't know if he'll ever watch this, but he had an Audi when we were growing up. You know him, Indian guy. He had an Audi growing up, and he had put red tape in the, like if you take the little plastic casing off the light bulbs inside the car, the interior lighting, he put red tape and then put it back. So every time that you'd open the door, it was like a submarine inside his car.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah, it was amazing. And Audis have red, or they used to have red displays, red lighting.
Okay.
So it added to the effect. It was amazing, man. It was amazing. It was before its time. Again, another innovator that some people I'm sure got in his car and laughed at it, but
haters, man.
Yeah, now they don't.
Now they're like, I gotta put tape on everything.
Yeah. So. Keep it up, guys. Whatever. Keep rebranding those cars. Yeah. Keep on making Ferraris out of those Oldsmobiles. Why not?
So did you do you know? Are you familiar with? I got to show you something. All right. So Red, I know you want to see this, or you don't even know what you want to see yet.
I don't know what I want to see.
I was gonna.
You caught me off guard. I know I want to see it.
What do you think of that?
What is that? I don't even know what I'm looking at. What am I looking at?
Okay, let me get my facts straight, but that is the new.
I know in there isn't like the pink and blue or whatever. Like I know there's like they added like minor attracted persons to that flag or something at some point.
This is the new flag. The new LGBTQ plus flag, and I just was kind of curious to know what you thought.
Are you sure? Did you double check?
Yes, this is not a joke. This is not a joke.
No way. I don't believe it.
Yeah, it is.
What is the silliness of the thing? Oh, God, I don't.
So I'm trying to. Okay, here we go. So,
I hope you guys are kidding that this is a flag. I mean, come on, man. Can you
where
imagine
is it?
how expensive the ink is going to be when you want to?
Well, I mean, let's look at the flag. Do you see something that's the new stuff? What new stuff are you noticing?
I mean, there's a giant circle with yellow around it. A purple circle.
What is that circle thing?
I don't know. And then there's like a Mai Tai umbrella underneath it.
A Mai Tai, yeah. So I think the idea is that umbrella is to be. It's a swath. Like, all are welcome. The umbrella of the LG. So, yeah, intersex, trans, non-binary, POC, sex, work, HIV, and AIDS is part of this. Pink triangle, disability, inclusive, diversity. Yeah, it's everything, man. It is everything. It's everything for now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gave up. You're still sharing, by the way.
Okay,
You're still
that's
sharing
fine.
your screen, by the way. I gave up on trying to figure out any of that stuff, man, after they added like they call it minor. I'm not going to ask you to Google it. You don't want that stuff on your search results. But when they added like the minor attracted persons to their flag or whatever thing, I was like, I don't know. Maybe it's not on that flag. I don't know. I don't know their flag. Anyways. Like I haven't memorized it because it changes every 3 days.
The reason I brought it up was I saw that. Do you know who Brittney Griner is? Griner.
Yeah, Brittney Griner. Yeah, I know. I mean, that's the girl that is she a girl? It's a girl, right?
What makes you think that?
No, I thought.
Cancelled.
Man, okay. So I would just say, with all the craziness going on in the world, if she does not identify as a woman, I have no clue. I've never talked to this person. I don't know. I'm just going off of what I know. So I think Brittney Griner is that WNBA star that was in Russia that got caught for the drug use or something like that. She had like a cartridge on her.
She had mistakenly had a cartridge.
Whatever.
Her wife packed for her, her wife didn't pack for her because she makes her woman pack for her when she's going on these business trips, but her woman wasn't around, so she had to pack for herself, and she just threw stuff together, and she's like, oh, it's like, oh, yes, you're irresponsible, basically.
I don't buy any of that, man.
Well, yeah,
we've all snuck
that's her story.
Stuff into other countries.
So
you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't want to admit to stuff on camera, but I don't know what the statute of limitations is. Oh,
I want you to listen to this.
Work through that.
Oh, okay.
What you called this guilt that you were feeling.
I don't think I really gotten through all the way. At the end of the day, it's my fault, and I let everybody down.
So far, I love it. She's accepting.
Interesting, huh?
Accepting reality. Yeah, that's good. I don't see a problem with that.
How did she sound to you? When I first heard it, I was like,
well, I don't know much about that person. You talk about the deep voice.
The deep
situation?
voice, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you saying that she's transitioning potentially,
or
something?
She's always been a man. Can we say that?
I mean, if you're speculating, that's possible.
I mean,
I don't
allegedly,
I don't have a problem with speculating. Well, allegedly is when somebody is accusing someone of something, right?
Okay, well,
I don't think you're accusing
speculating
her.
when she's shirtless. She just so happens to.
Oh Lord.
Look like
Can
a
I
man.
see? Is there any way for you to enlarge this so I can see it at?
I don't know if I could.
I mean, I don't see any like
Scars.
Oh God, I feel like I landed in a trap here because I genuinely didn't want to misgender this person, but I remembered that she was married to a woman. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, but isn't she a WNBA star? So I was like, is it a woman or is it a guy? I'm like, I don't even know, and I'm not trying to have that conversation, but damn. Yeah,
I just find it interesting. I mean, like, okay, she's in the WNBA, and then she did this, like, her first time coming out talking about breaking her silence, basically, on being getting busted for bringing a cartridge or two cartridges to Russia. I guess they had an international game or something like that. And eventually being traded for the Merchant of Death.
Victor Bout, one of the world's most infamous arms dealers, has been released from US custody as part of a prisoner exchange with US basketball star Brittney Griner. A Russian citizen, he was arrested in Thailand in 2010 and later extradited to the US. He was sentenced to 25 years imprisonment in 2012 for conspiring to sell tens of millions of dollars in weapons to be used against American citizens.
Nothing against Brittney Griner, but it's just silly that a government would engage another government and say, hey, I'll trade you this high-value asset in exchange for like
the Merchant of Death
citizen. Yeah. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it was not average.
No, I'm saying she's average.
Oh, yes. Well, I mean,
she's not whatever, average. Man. I'm sorry, whatever.
She's 6'9", so she's not average. I'll tell you that much. I mean, I don't know many 6'9" women.
Yeah, it shows how ignorant I am about all of the
I'm
things.
Horrible.
Yeah, I just know what I saw on TV, which was, it was just a topic that I didn't really care for. Like, I was not a Brittney Griner supporter.
I mean, you're not a fan. You're not a. You don't have a jersey.
When she got caught in Russia, I was like, okay, what's the problem? I don't understand why this is news. You know what I mean? I've done bad things. I've gotten caught. You've done bad things. You've gotten caught. Like, okay,
yes.
I don't get why it's significant or why it needed to be newsworthy. It happens to all of us, man. You make mistakes. You know, everybody makes mistakes.
It was because she got traded for the Merchant of Death.
Right. And that goes back to one of the things that we say on every episode. God, my sound's gonna sound so loud, man. I can see my mic hits that little red bar. I'm so sorry to the listeners if my voice is insane. What was I trying to say? Yeah, I just didn't understand why it was newsworthy. Like, I get that they traded at the end, right? But during the events, before they settled on a trade, I was struggling to comprehend why this was even on the news. Like, what's the big deal? I don't get it. People make mistakes. They get caught. I mean, there's a whole series on National Geographic about that called, like, Lockdown or something like that. What's it called? Where people, like, tell their stories about being in prisons in other countries. Yeah. So I was like, I don't get it. Why is this on TV? Why is this on the news? So I'm happy that we were willing to trade someone of such high caliber so that she can be back home and play basketball again. So I'm happy that we were willing to do that, and we're not willing to do that for like a Paul Whelan or one of these other like really high value individuals. But it is what it is, man. It's all politics, you know? It's like, oh, am I going to lose votes if I don't bring her home? I guess the takeaway of this tiny little piece of content is just ask yourself why. Once again, why? Why would you trade a serious terrorist for a person that's just average that made a mistake? You know, like I'm not saying I want bad things for Brittney. No. I'm not saying that. I don't know this person. I don't know anything about them. I just know that they chose to take drugs into a country where you're not supposed to do that. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you right now, I lived in the Emirates for 7 months. And before I made my trip down there, knowing I was going to be down there for a while, I made sure to check their whatever the Department of State or whatever their equivalent is in Dubai. I made sure to check and see like what's okay and what's not okay. And I remember there were medications, man, that I thought were normal to me as a Westerner. Like you couldn't bring like if Tylenol had codeine in it or something like that, you couldn't bring. Wow. You couldn't bring that in. You couldn't bring some kinds of painkillers because they're Muslim. And I respected that, man. It's that simple. Just respect the rules, Yeah.
I mean, she went on to say that, I believe she's in Arizona. She's like, in the state of Arizona, it's completely legal to have THC or marijuana. And, I mean, but not every state is even like that.
Yeah, I don't get why anyone would make that comment.
Well, I mean, she's trying to rationalize.
There's no rationalizing it.
You made a mistake.
There's no rationalizing it. I'm sorry, but there's no rationalizing it. They know, we know, it's still fresh enough. It's still fresh enough. This whole marijuana thing is still fresh enough in the American landscape that I think all of us are cognizant of the fact if you do it, like let's say you're in state California and it's okay, and Texas doesn't allow it, you're aware of that. If you're a smoker, you know that. Maybe in 20 years when we've been so used to it, it will be like carrying a little bag of, a little box of Kleenex or something in your luggage where you're like, Kleenex is illegal in Russia? What? But you know what I mean? Like, but this is one of those things where substances, I think we all check, right?
Man.
Weapons, I think we all check. We don't throw a knife in your luggage just because, or a sword. You know what I mean?
It's like I have nice Leathermans. You have a nice Leatherman too. Like this is $100, right? Yeah, not a lot of money, but it is to me. I don't check this into when I go on a shoot.
Right.
Or I mean, I do check it. Right. I make sure it's in my luggage. I don't have it on my person.
Right. Same. Yeah, same. I mean, I'm just smart enough to know that, and I would imagine you.
There's another one. You have the same one
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no one wants to lose $100, but.
I mean, I won't even carry. Trying to think, man. Even like if I have a court date for something silly, like a traffic thing, when I go to court downtown, or jury duty or something, I make a point of checking my pockets, checking my backpack. Not because I'm doing illegal things. It's just sometimes you tend to forget. Like, when was the last time I used that backpack? Oh, shoot. Yeah, that was my vacation over there. So you just want to make sure, I think that she got exactly what she deserved. I think that she felt entitled because she feels some kind of celebrity to herself. Russia's paying for her to play basketball, like you said, 6'9", black,
lesbian.
I don't know again if she's a dude, if she's a guy. I don't know any of that, I'm just saying, as a Russian who might love basketball, I'm sure she was like the big deal down there. I'm sure she was like a hit, right?
Well, she plays for the U.S. I think it was just an international game where
Oh, so she didn't have like a contract where...
No, she was just going there, and she probably, I don't know. This is all speculation, but she probably was like, we're going to have her. And they probably did have a private flight, but she was probably like, they're just going to let us walk through and not going to be a big deal.
Right, and I'm a big star, and,
But
Paul Whelan
if you watch the video of her, because they have it all out there now, and they see it, they run her stuff, and then they have her unpack it, I guess, and they find the 2 cartridges. And she was like, all right, whatever. Anyways, I wish, my butt would still be in a Russian prison. I'm sure yours too, for you.
Of course. But, unless you, decide to change any of your attributes, which are totally changeable nowadays.
Red, I have some news for you.
Are you coming out as a salamander?
Well, I jokingly, I'm not going to say it, but yes, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it's just poking a little fun at stuff, it's...
Yes.
We believe in science, and, if you can prove things scientifically, great. If you can't, we can still poke fun at it.
It's fun.
But yeah, man, I mean, as a human being, I'm glad that she is home, and I feel bad for the other human beings who probably deserved that freedom more than she did. But at the end of the day, it's still a human being that doesn't deserve to rot away in some foreign prison because of politics. That's really all it was. Mm-hmm. It's just politics, But she knew what she was doing. She was bringing in drugs and probably felt entitled. And we've seen other movie stars and athletes. I mean, what was the athlete that just crashed his Lamborghini and they hurt people on the highway and then they all ran away, and then he coordinated with his attorney to turn himself in and collaborate on the investigation?
I don't know.
Look up NFL accident, something like that. I don't know. I don't remember the guy's name.
Kansas City Chiefs player Rashee Rice was the driver of one of two speeding sports cars who left after causing a chain reaction crash on Dallas Highway over the weekend. Well, this is April.
Yeah, it's a month ago. But I'm just my point is that the entitlement of athletes and the white privilege involved in that scenario is nuts, man. It's like off.
I mean, have you seen how bad it is for John Jones, the UFC fighter, who should be like considered the greatest fighter of all time, but he's kind of had a checkered past.
No,
just like he got in an accident one time and hit some pregnant lady and literally got out of his car and ran from the police. There's video of him being arrested in Las Vegas, just drunk, and the police have him on the hood of the car, and he's just like belligerent.
Officers, I hate you. I hate you.
There's another one of him getting pulled over. There's a couple of him getting pulled over by police. And it's unfortunate because this young man has like Philippians, a verse like tattooed on his chest, tries to carry himself as, I don't know, a good person, but he's like, his track record says otherwise. But yes, like a sense of entitlement,
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. I'm rich, I'm famous, no one can touch me. And I wonder what's going on with the whole Puff Daddy drama.
Man.
Like he was like I don't want to speculate because I haven't watched the news. But
there's
he was
some
doing
good stuff on that, man. Good stuff. I mean, good
was
stuff.
Was he doing like some sex trafficking or something like that?
I guess from what I understand, and it's limited, there's like a culture that's been perpetuated in Hollywood that there's grooming that goes into making your way through the top, and allegedly, I'm going to say this all the time, but Justin Bieber, his name has come up.
Man,
and a lot of stars. I mean, a lot of stars.
Epstein list, I bet.
So what's his name? Who's in prison? Who is the guy that owned Death Row?
Suge Knight.
Suge Knight had an interview with PBD and talked about how Puffy wasn't always like that. Puffy was turned into that, essentially.
I felt that Puffy was a regular, normal guy. And then when he started hanging with the guys in the industry, they did things to him, and then allegedly he did things to Usher. It goes on and on. But we got to stop this pointing the finger at the person who gets caught with their hand in the cookie jar.
I know that there's people have pumped the brakes on it just because waiting to see what his next move is, I guess. Because if you didn't know, he flew out of the country, if I'm not mistaken. He's in...
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he's not here, man.
Oh, Lord.
He's
another R. Kelly situation.
Well, R. Kelly stayed, right, didn't he? Well,
he stayed because people were dumb enough to keep believing him. Don't forget to use the donkey in there. Dumb.
Oh.
Dumb. Dumb. People were dumb enough to believe his nonsense. How many victims? And that ties back into that Hollywood thing, man. Like that's still the movie. Well, it's not the movie business, but it's a celebrity business. You know.
Yeah, there's a documentary on him that's pretty good. It's a little slow at the end, but.
Are you talking about like the series on Hulu?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that series is brutal, man. I struggle watching it. I think I actually got teary-eyed a couple times for these like victims. It really kills me that people don't believe, like people say believe women and then they don't believe women when there's some kind of reason not to. Like, well, I'll believe you, but I like R. Kelly, so no, I won't. I believe you, but I like Harvey Weinstein and Miramax movies, so I won't. I believe you, but I like Gaza too much.
Well, it's like I don't like what China does, but I have a cell phone. You know what I mean? I don't support child labor or slavery, but I have my Nikes and my nice shoes and my Jaguar.
Right.
Or I have all my things, my iMac. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. We're consumers. At the end of the day, we're consumers.
It's hard to get away from, man.
Yeah. My friend, I got to run. I hate to cut it short, but it's been a great time. I hope you guys will join us for the next episode. We're going to try to release on a weekly schedule. And there's still a lot more stuff to talk about. A lot of good, fun events to talk about. I would like to get into a little bit of the supernatural conversation next time. So maybe we can get into a little bit of that. You know, that'd be kind of cool. Kind of step away from politics for.
I know you have some good stories.
Well, I don't know that I will share my stories necessarily, but let's talk. Let's see where it leads us. And if you guys have interesting stories that you would like us to discuss, please let us know in the comments whenever you see our videos. If there's a topic that you would like us to touch or not touch, please engage us. Let us know. We wanna do this for you guys. So, anything's possible. All right. It's been a pleasure having you guys. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you for the next episode. Great seeing you, my friend. Talk to you later.
See you, man.
Later.
Clinton's private email server appears to
My God.